right, welcome to yet another episode number 25. So we've hit the quarter century mark on the amount of episodes that I've produced of this show. Still unnamed Wild Bills podcast show. Don't love the name. Anybody has any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. Not that creative outside of just doing this consistently every week. So I'm happy that I'm still able to keep this up for what feels like almost half a year already. So said I was going to do it after every series starting the season, and that obviously hasn't kept up. That's, I don't know, as far as my schedule right now, obviously I'm not making any money off of this. I'm just doing it because I love the Cubs. Wasn't really able to keep it up in terms of keeping up with my work schedule, hanging out with my girlfriend, going out with my friends, doing whatever it is that I might need to do, having family in town, staying true to my word and my other commitments, taking care of my car, cleaning, all the other stupid adult things that I got to keep up with. But as far as keeping a schedule of at least trying to do it every week, I think that's pretty doable, and I think that there's some consistency and what's the right word I'm looking for? Just always being there at least for one a week. Continuation, I guess we could say. Perpetuity. All those synonyms for showing up every week at least and talking Chicago Cubs baseball. Which, if you remember the last episode, as I'm sure all the diehard fans would remember, I said that I would accept nothing but 2 sweeps back-to-back. Asking you shall receive, apparently, because the Cubs went 6-0 this past week. We had a sweep against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh and against the Washington Nationals in Washington. So, all in all, 8-1 on the road trip after the 2-1 series victory against the Miami Marlins. Would have been nice to get that sweep, but can't complain about a perfect week. The offense really woke up. They had a total of 67 runs this week in 6 games, so averaging over 11 runs a game is beautiful, amazing. Would love for them to be able to keep that up consistently for at least the last month, or at least half, At least half of that would be nice. And I think with the pitching staff that we have, that would lead to a good month of September. Let's go through all the runs they scored in all these games. 18, 9, 14, 7, 5, and 14 today. Full disclosure, I don't watch all the games. 162 is tough to sit in front of a TV for, with all the aforementioned reasons of the same thing of not being able to do every single series of, talking Chicago Cubs baseball. But I watched today, and they looked totally competent. They're making all the right plays on the field. They're just hitting the ball hard, getting good contact on everything. Bottom of the order was looking pretty good. Miguel Amaya finally woke up. PCA's finding his place, wreaking havoc on the base paths. He's fast. He's got good contact. Isaac Paredes is looking like he's fitting in really well with the roster. I think the Cubs made a good trade in that. Christopher Morel was obviously the electric rod of the team. So seeing him leave was, tough. Not the toughest thing I've seen leave the Chicago Cubs, but tough. But consolation prize, Isaac Paredes under team control for a little while. He's relatively young. Good Mexican product, much like One Wild Bill. So he's fitting in pretty well. Made a good play to stop a base-loaded jam in the second inning in today's game on Sunday. Dansby Swanson is getting a bunch of hits. I think he had 4 hits today, which I think is more than he had in the month of May. Yeah, things are looking good. Christian Bethancourt, low-key, the second half MVP of the Cubs. He really set off that comeback win against the Pittsburgh Pirates, which I gave up on watching. I did try to watch a little bit of that. Got upset when Kyle Hendricks started giving up some runs, which I won't really touch. I've already talked about my feelings on Hendricks in previous episodes. They were down 10-3 going into the 7th inning. They ended up winning 14-10. That's good to see, because the earlier season version of this team would have just rolled over and let it happen. But they didn't give up, which is nice to see. Little side note about today's game, we did manage to see Dusty Baker's son, I believe his name is Darren Baker, had his first Major League career hit. It's cool to see. I think everybody is familiar with the highlight of him getting yanked by who was it, JT Snow, in that World Series game in 2002 when his dad Dusty was managing the San Francisco Giants. It's kind of funny to see how he made it all the way through the minors and is in the majors now. So that was cool to see. Cool to see Dusty out in the crowd, looking all proud, looking all old. So that was cool. So, encouraging week of Chicago Cubs baseball. My only question is, can they sustain this? Obviously, this might be an outlier of a week for the Cubs. They seem to be getting hot at the right time. Obviously, the teams that they played are not super competitive teams. The Nationals might be last place in the NL East. They made a lot of fielding errors, I saw. A whole bunch of playing things off to the side, letting things go under their glove, which I got roasted for in high school. I don't know what happened. What's going on at the major league level in that organization. I don't know how competitive they're really trying to be. The Cubs really messed around in that first game of the series, too. They only won by 1 run, 7-6. After Shota Imanaga had a really good outing, they almost gave that up, which is not chill. A win's a win, but it was ugly. So, I was pretty skeptical about the Cubs' ability to really sneak into the playoffs until this week happened. And now, looking forward, the Cubs, as they stand right now, 71-66. They're only 3.5 back on the last wild card spot, pending the Sunday night game in which the Atlanta Braves will play the Philadelphia Phillies. Hoping for a Phillies win, put them only 3 games behind. I think they're neck and neck with the Mets for that spot. I think the Cubs are a better team than the Mets. And then looking forward to the month of September, the next 2 series they have are against Pittsburgh and the Yankees. Both at home at Wrigley. I think they've shown that they can handle the Pirates. The Yankees are in a tough spot where they haven't really kept up the first half's, pace of winning games. So this will be a big series. Really the only challenge they have in the final month of the season is that Yankees series, which could really go either way. And then they also play the Dodgers in LA, which I will be attending the series finale of that on Wednesday the 11th. Then after that, they don't have to play St. Louis anymore. They don't have to play Milwaukee. I think we have a series against Oakland. We get to play the Nationals again, the Cincinnati Reds, which I think might be out of the playoff hump by the time we get to that. I'll try to go to one of those games in the final homestand also. I will be at home for that. But honestly, the outside for the final month of the season is looking pretty good. We're 9 games out of the division. Milwaukee somehow has just been able to sustain their good pace in winning. Boring baseball, but boring baseball works sometimes. Can't really hate them for that. So, I'm looking forward to another big week of Chicago Cubs baseball. Moving on to the other team on the other side of town, the Southsiders. The White Sox have set a franchise record for losses in a season, and they still have another month to play. Pending today's game, not sure what the final score of that was. I think they were in the 7th inning last I checked, losing by a few runs. They are 31-106, most likely 31-107. At this point, let's just see how bad it can get. I think this will be their 10th loss in a row. Whatever. How much worse can it really get? They're 46.5 out of first place. Mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. And look, I don't really take a whole lot of joy in seeing that. It sucks for the city. It sucks for the fans. White Sox fans and Cubs fans always reunite for the football season, which we will get to momentarily. And we know they're good people. They're just kind of dumb in the baseball category. But I don't want them to see them, suffer through all this. That sucks. So we'll see what kind of changes they'll make on the offseason. I'll probably keep a closer eye on that rather than the Cubs, because I know what the Cubs have. We'll probably get Cody Bellinger back. We have Isaac Paredes. Dansby's tied up for a few seasons. Justin Steele, Shota Imanaga most likely are going to be back. So we have mostly, who we have now is who we're going to have. We'll just have to obviously shuffle through the bullpen and see what kind of upgrades we can make to that so that we can retain those 15 games at the beginning of the season that we gave up by blowing all those saves. But the White Sox, man, that's got to be a total overhaul. See who they like stick with for manager. I'm not sure. I can't remember who I think it's Grady Sizemore being the stand-in manager right now. We'll see what they do, but sad to see. That's really all I have for the MLB currently. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. This is going to be the home stretch for this upcoming month. So a lot of exciting things coming up. My girlfriend and I are moving into a new apartment at the beginning of October, so looking forward to that also. A lot of good things. Happening. So let's move on to the other team that I really love, the Chicago Bears. It is finally game week. We're less than a week away. Within the week, within 7 exact days, we'll know if the Chicago Cubs, the Bears, start off with a win. They're playing against the Tennessee Titans at home to start the 2024 NFL regular season. Currently 4-point favorites. Betting them straight up is minus 198. So obviously big time favorites to win this game. I do think they'll cover. Their biggest additions for the Tennessee from the offseason is that first round pick, J.C. Latham. Supposed to be really good. Will Levis not a bad quarterback. I think we saw him play pretty well towards the end of last season, but I think this defense will be able to handle that. The Titans also picked up L'Jarius Sneed. Good player from Kansas City, but this isn't Kansas City. These are not the Chiefs. I think my final score prediction will be 35-10. Caleb Williams, 2 touchdowns in the air. Not sure where they'll get the other ones. Maybe DeAndre Swift scores one. Maybe Khalil Herbert rushes for another one. Predicting 2 interceptions, 2 picks, 2 turnovers in general from the defensive side of the ball. Looking forward to seeing Austin Booker in action, seeing how he'll be able to affect everything. Gervon Dexter is another name that I really want to keep a close eye on, see if he's able to work that interior lineman position on the defensive side. And I know that T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds are going to ball out. I know Jack Sanborn is a heck of a third linebacker, and I know he's going to play super well. That secondary is a well-oiled machine. I have a lot of trust in them. So really the biggest question mark I have is on the offensive line. But I think with a thought-out, elaborate offense, we'll be able to work around that. I'm excited to see Caleb Williams in a full game, see what he's able to accomplish, and I'm super excited for this Chicago Bears season. So looking forward to it. I will see if I can record right after that, pending whatever games are going on. My level of, I'll probably have a few beers during the game. I always do for week 1. I am not ashamed to say it. It's a fun time of the year. Really the only time I'll establish that I am not going to do anything for the rest of the day other than this. And yeah, man, I'm excited for some football. Looking forward to the Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens playing on Thursday night. That'll kick everything off, and I know the Eagles are going to take care of business in terms of defending America against the scum of the earth on Friday down in Brazil. Bears 1-0. That's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. So we're looking forward to another fruitful week for the Chicago Cubs. I mean, you couldn't really ask for more. It's really like the best I've felt about the Cubs all season. We'll see how they fare in the change of setting. Quick turnaround for the Cubs and the Pirates, coming back to Wrigley for another 3-game set. Day off on Thursday, then come back Friday with a big 3-game series against the New York Yankees coming into town. Anthony Rizzo's return, first time since he unceremoniously got traded along with everybody else in that Cubs early 2010s youth movement from a few years ago. That was a dark day in Chicago sports history, but, whatever. Excited to see him back home. I'm sure that he'll get a nice standing ovation in his first at-bat, and then we'll want him to strike out every successive at-bat, including the one in which he gets a standing ovation, of course. So, looking forward to another 6-0 week from the Chicago Cubs. That's all I got for today. Not sure if you can tell, I'm in a pretty good mood today. I'll probably release this still tomorrow. Just want to take a little bit of time off on account of it being Labor Day. Hope you all enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in for the, 2 or 3 of you that do. Appreciate it. This is why I do it. Until next time, It's Wild Bill, and it's over.